Here's to the mean girls who lunch. Aren't they a gas?
Yo ho, an actor's life for me.
Hey guys, Justin Travis Bukes coming to an actor's life this week with another theater news segment. In this segment, I highlight a few stories that I found over the last week, things that interest me in the world of theater, either up-and-coming projects or current running projects that have new news popping up, different people coming into the cast, special behind-the-scenes items, anything that kind of pops up within the week that just kind of catches my eye and interests me, and hopefully interests you as well. This week I have a few stories to talk about, all which would be in the up-and-coming category. The first thing I want to talk about is the wonderful and the incomparable Elaine Stritch. She'll be appearing at the New York Tribeca Film Festival this April in a documentary entitled Elaine Stritch, Shoot Me. If you haven't seen Elaine Stritch's one-woman show, Elaine Stritch at Liberty, definitely find yourself a DVD copy or the audio recording of it and check it out. Pretty much a master class in and of itself. If you look online, you can actually find the Kickstarter video that was made for this documentary. And let me tell you, it's really funny to watch Elaine, even at 87, and how crass she still is. But the video is very funny, talking about the development of it, and you get to see a little snippets of interviews from some of the stars that she's worked with and was working with during the filming of this documentary, and their sort of input, about her to the documentary. Makes me very excited to see the full thing throughout. I remember when I was living in Washington Heights, a friend that I met through mutual friends, he actually had befriended Elaine a number of years prior and had spent a lot of time with her, helping her to run lines during, the development, I guess, and performances of her one-woman show. And it was always funny for, when he would, share stories about her and about their time together. So having heard those, I can't wait to hear the stories that come out of the different stars that are in this documentary and what they have to share about their experiences, because no matter how old and what point, you can always guarantee that a story with Elaine Stritch in it is going to be a raucous one. So I'm very excited to see what comes out of of those tellings. The film festival runs April 17th through the 28th. If you can, definitely mark it down on your calendars. If you're in the New York area, head down to Tribeca, check this thing out. And hopefully, if there are a huge amount of supporters who do go to see it, we might get it out on DVD that much faster for the rest of us that are not in the New York area currently. Second thing I just want to mention today is that James Franco will be making his Broadway theater debut. He's slated to play George in Of Mice and Men, a revival that will be coming to the New York area, but dates and everything is not totally set yet. It'll be really interesting to see how he transfers from film to the Broadway stage. Film is a world where the work is done in sometimes a much smaller space. You have, your shot set up, your screen, however big, see how big this is, and this is the world that you work in. Where on stage, this is not the world you work in. It is a much larger space to the edge of the stage and then through the house, which you do have to take into account because there are other people all the way in the back row that you have to find some way to pull them into your world. And a completely different medium. And I really hope that he's able to transfer to stage and be able to produce a lot of good work like he's done in the films that he's been in. Third and last thing I wanted to talk about today, an announcement made of a new musical that's going to be coming out, a adaptation of the Mean Girls movie. Now, adapting a musical from a pre-existing work like a movie is nothing new. We've seen it many, many times before, and pop culture is kind of now determining a lot of where we go, making sure that you have a target audience that will come to it solely for the title of the work before they see or hear any of the work itself. Now, do I think that 4 or 5 years ago we would have seen an announcement like this and the adaptation of Mean Girls into a musical? No, I don't. but I believe that there have been a few shows that have come out that have sort of become stepping stones and then allowed us to be in a place where this idea was developed and will probably garner some attention and some followers. So here's my 3-step track on how we got to a point where Mean Girls the musical could be developed as an idea and picked up to be produced as a new musical coming to the Broadway stage. 1. In the Heights. A musical that was contemporary and brought not only the thick culture of an area like Washington Heights to the forefront in the theater scene, but also brought rap into musical theater. Not rap as most people would know it, but rap as a style, as a culture, and what it was to Lin-Manuel really sort of brought a pop culture edge to new musicals and the ever-growing contemporary musical theater scene. Step 2, bringing on the musical. Now, I saw this on its opening night here in San Francisco, and let me tell you, going to it, I wasn't really certain that I would be a fan, that I would buy into it. I had, of course, seen the movie, the original one I saw on opening night with my then cheerleading squad. Yes, I was a cheerleader. Why was I a cheerleader? Because I wanted to meet girls. Why else would a guy become a cheerleader? The show was co-composed and co-lyricized by Lin-Manuel Miranda, so that you can definitely see between In the Heights and Bring It On the evolutionary step. A lot of the similar things that kind of were in Bring It On that were also in the Heights, kind of brought his style to a pre-existing pop sort of culture icon and kind of melding it into yet another new musical, new idea for what you can do on stage. I love during one of the numbers when they're trying to convince the guys to be cheerleaders that there is one guy who pops up and just says that they're all tripping for saying no and freaking out because you're going to be surrounded by girls, you could possibly be on TV, you're pretty much a big pimpin', so why would you ever say no to that situation? In the end, I was sold on the show. The talent on stage, the ability to hit every stunt from top of the show to the end, not filmed where you get the best cut out of an entire day's worth of filming, but one show, one chance to get it, and from top to bottom, they hit every stunt. It was awesome to watch, and I could respect that having spent time doing that. Of course, I did have to get the album, and I just want to share what I think is probably one of the best intros to a song that I've heard in a long time. I believe the number is at the end of Act 1, and this is where they're trying to convince the guys to become cheerleaders and help in their plan. But really, just the intro of it before they're setting up the first soloist is, I think, awesome. So I'm going to play it for you real fast. Okay, here we go. I'm sorry. I had to share that because it makes me smile every time I listen to it. Maybe because I saw the show, it means more to me. But just kind of, an intro to a song being and then to the I don't think that I would have ever thought of that as an acceptable intro to a song, especially in a musical. Even pop culture, maybe, pop music, but a musical, I would have never thought of that. And so it just kind of makes me smile and, sort of proud of the evolution of art and theater and musicals and being able to find new things and try new things and finding success with them, as was found with Bring It On the musical. Step 3, try to come up with an idea for a new pop culture musical that will draw in a younger crowd versus also kind of a middle-aged crowd as well. Ding, ding, ding. Why not Mean Girls the musical? And while we're at it, let's make sure that we have a musical number dedicated to the word fetch. The show will be scored by Jeff Richmond, Tina Fey's husband, Tina Fey actually, who was in the movie. We'll see as the project gets developed where it goes, what sort of workshops are done, if it does an out-of-town opening, and then of course past that if it does get fully booked and make it all the way to Broadway. Last thing I want to do, quick mention actually, shout out to Kate Rockwell, who was in Bring It On the musical and who has now found herself all the way to Rock of Ages, which she is doing right now, and has become one of the 50th longest running shows on Broadway. So congrats to her and to the cast. I just caught on to her blog on Broadway.com and really have liked the behind the scenes and how she sort of kind of chronicles her life each week in the production and such. And also love that she has included her family, friend, and closest little confidant. So I thought that I would end with my little one as well, who has just kind of run off on me. But, grab him real fast. Oh, come here, you. Oh. So just a quick shout out. Well, hello everyone. This is Ripley. He's my cat. Oh, big white kitty. But big shout out to Kate and also to Mabel. Maybe not as screen friendly as Mabel. So that's it for this week's edition of An Actor's Life Theater News. Again, please like, subscribe, spread the word, make sure people know about these videos and get in to see them. More will be coming soon, and I'm trying to come up with ideas for different segments, you know, industry insights, different topics that we can go over and different videos to give you guys more exposure to the theater career, theater life, and my pursuit of a career in it. So thanks again, guys, and I will see you all on the flip side.